Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwashed actual play series on the internet. We are continuing on with our Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon crawl. This is episode 84, and we are using a heavily modified version of the old school Essential system by Necrotic Gnome. My name is John, I'm the referee for the evening, and tonight we have...
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm playing Breggy, the 4th level dwarf.
Normally I have David, but he is dead to us tonight.
It's a shame. Hi, everyone. Matt, I'm playing Wolfhard Cheek, level 4 fighter, level 9 lover.
That's a lot of levels, man. You get a stronghold for
that? Hey, you can't get as old as he is without knowing what you're doing.
It's okay. That's true. All right, everybody. I'm Ted, and tonight I will be playing Mortis J. Gobliono, Goblin level 7.
Right on. Okay. So we left our party in the midst of downtime in the very pleasant adventuring town of Gosterwick. They were actually in the ruler's chambers, in the residence upon the atop the high bluff that overlooks the city, the town, I should say. Lady Alexia Basilion, who is in the midst of a political struggle with her half-brother Iskander Basilion down to the south in Newmarket for rule of Burdock's Valley. Key to that, according to Lady Alexia, is all 4 of the ancient imperial regalia in her hands would lend her a lot of legitimacy. Little does she know that she is talking to the owners of one of those regalia. Debate has ensued in the ensuing time about whether or not they're going to hand that to her or not. We shall find out tonight, I suppose. But anyways, it is the 13th of Gelenios. It is, I kind of arbitrarily just called it noon, but if you guys want to have more of the day to do things, that is totally fine. We can call it earlier. And we have Breggy, Mort, and Wolford in the room right now. They have finished identifying all their magical items, and they have delivered something of great value to Lady Alexia, which is the infamous butt note. So that she was astounded and pleased to receive that.
So were we when we got it.
Yeah, I'm 52 years old, and that is just still funny, you know.
So she's very pleased to hear that, to get that note, and she had surmised to you that where is it here? It's likely the butt notes contents were basically a invitation from Lord Iskander to High Priestess Stephania of the cult of the proscribed, to clarify, cult of Set, offering a possible alliance between the two of them, which is very troubling to Lady Alexia, but she's glad she's heard about it. She has a feeling that likely what her half-brother wants to have done is that the Setites would be charged with finding the Imperial Regalia, giving them to Lord Burdock, Iskander, in exchange for power, prestige, possibly even legitimacy in the empire of the resurging cult, so on and so forth. So, so that's basically the deal. Last session as well, there was, of course, the big priority of trying to get Lothar's eyes back. The only person who's able to do that is the High Priest of Mitra up on the Temple Hill, but his price for that was complete conversion to Mitra. He has the power, but is not willing to perform such high miracles for anyone less than the truly devout of his god. At the time, Lothar had refused such, which Jador, the high priest, completely understood, but was still unwilling to give him his eyes back. So that's the deal with that. And so you're in the middle of the room. We literally left off when you were discussing things with Lady Alexia. So how would you like to pick that up again?
Yeah, Ted, how would you like to pick that up again?
Why me? Why are you asking me?
Because you're the man with the plan, Ted.
Well, my plan is not the same as everybody else's plan. I gotta say, I want to give her the regalia because I think
there was a lot of discussion on this. There was a lot of discussion, but one thing that we haven't talked about really is putting that aside, not even mentioning that, but what kind of favors or information exchange can we get from, or ask her from, or ask from her. I don't know, words are weird.
Wolford,
in
no
regards to like, yeah, Wolford, no talk good. Neither does Matt. With this information that we've just given her, perhaps, with your little silver tongue, you can get a little information back. We've got some troubles with the old dragon. She might be able to enlighten us on that. And it sounds also like we might have something of a common enemy in these Setites shaping up. Maybe she has some information down there.
I think we can work that. All right, so
basically the only thing we asked her for so far was her help with Jador to get Lothar's eyes back, and she's like, "Yeah, sorry, I can't do that." So, what does she have possibly to offer us at this point?
Yeah. So okay, so then I'm more than happy to keep talking. We are agreed that, if semi-agreed anyway, that we're not giving her the regalia at this point, right? It's
what regalia are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
We're in a huddle. We're in a huddle. You don't have to. We're 3 against. It's 3 against 1. We're not doing it. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could be swayed. I could be bought.
Don't be bought, because then it messes up our vote.
All right.
It's fine. It's fine. I think we should give it to her. But if no one else wants to do it, I'm not gonna mess with that. That's not how a party works. So fine. So we didn't get the eyes. We're gonna try and get some other reward. And I think we should definitely play up the Setites thing. I was thinking we could probably even obliquely blame the Setites for Isocritus' death, because he was looking for regalia and they found out about it.
Alleged death.
Alleged death. Sure, we can leave it there. Yep. Something with like, it occurs to me, my lady, that if Isocritus has vanished, perhaps it is indeed the Setites who are to blame. They are looking for the regalia themselves, kind of thing. The question is whether merely seeking some immediate reward, or whether we implicitly or explicitly offer any sort of like, we will be your eyes and ears in Isocritus' place, or, well, thanks. It was really nice meeting you. You're awfully nice, ruler. Good luck with the whole thing, and we're out of here.
Yeah, I really don't think we want to offer that kind of like binding relationship, because then there's some kind of check-in required or involved, where either she's going to be coming to sending people to find out what we've been up to in that dungeon. It's not great, at least not at this point. I think we just
so we
my
keep
pitch is just,
we're adventurers, not political spies.
She has offered you nothing, but you have literally given her a very great gift, and she has not given any indication of what sort of reward for that gift, right? So
yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, you don't have to, like, you've already given her something, right? So
no, I know.
Yeah,
I know. That's I'm just checking my, before, if these are going to throw me to the wolves and make me do the talking, I just got to check the parameters before I start here.
Sure.
So we're all, on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
The Discord can get a little chaotic and lose the thread of what we're doing. Okay. So we are basically, we've given her the note. We've talked about Isocritus. She's said she's looking for the regalia. That's pretty much where we left at, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and action. My lady Alexia, we are but humble adventurers who are pleased to have brought you this note, for it is clear that it is of great importance, and we humbly submit it to you, and you're doing a bang-up job. Great. We like you way better than that Iskander fella. It's a damn shame you don't have any sway with the guy who can fix Lothar's eyes. But I'm sure that apart from that, you're undoubtedly very, very generous.
Yeah. She smiles and she says, "Of course, I would be happy to reward you for your service. For indeed, this is one of the greatest gifts that I've received in recent memory. Short of the regalia, I'll take this gladly." you were in a big audience chamber, by the way, and there are actual like Knights of the Azure Shield that are actually like lining, at the guarding, and Freyden, I think their name is the steward, is also there, kind of at her shoulder. She nods at the steward, and she, Freitas the stern, yes, Freitas the stern. She nods to her, and who nods to another servant. They come back, and they basically hand you like a very large chest, and she says, "For your services, at the very minimum, is this." And she opens it up. A guard does. It's 3,000 gold pieces. And she says, "Thank you very much for that note. Perhaps of more value to you, as I can see that you are a bit underwhelmed. I can certainly take it away if you like."
Sorry.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to interrupt.
It's just my natural resting face. Sorry.
Okay.
I wrote it down and everything.
Okay. It might be information as well. I can provide you information about a great number of things. Was there anything that you'd particularly like to know about?
Oh, so many things. I don't suppose you know where no, I was going to ask where the regalia are, but that's just smart ass. Well, we did talk about a few things, guys. I know. We could. Matt wants to know about his. I don't know, Matt. That is a mime. Matt
I'll just roll through it. Okay. First of all,
ask her about the dragon.
Crasinisterex.
Right.
Here's the deal.
Right.
Crasinisterex. So she is aware that of the dragon's greed for treasure. She understands like what its motivation is. She says it's pretty typical for a dragon. She knows all of this stuff that she's telling you basically is stuff that is reported to her through various means. Any questioning on your behalf of what her sources are, how she gets the information, is met with stony-faced silence. Okay, just be aware. So don't even go that route. Okay. So she knows that the following factions pay tribute to Kraz. And for every single one of these factions, it is tribute in order that Kraz avert his gaze from these factions' activities, basically, right? That's the payment.
Right.
The Inn of the Broken Head, they pay. The Cult of Set also pays, and the Beastmen pay. However, she says she has heard that the Beastmen's witch mother has stopped paying tribute because there are reports that Kraz, out of all the inhabitants that sort of scurry across the surface of Arden Vul day and night, it is the Beastmen that Kraz singles out for killing when able. This confirms this kind of aligns with separate confirmations that she has heard that the witch mother has stopped paying tribute to Kraz for some reason. Alexia has heard about the top of the pyramid being destroyed. But after that, it appears, according to reports, that Kraz has settled down somewhat back into his normal routine, that his anger seems to have subsided a bit. The Windark cohort, who has basically kind of taken up semi-permanent residence in Gosterwick, now refuses to ascend the cliff. Any jobs that anyone wants done from the Windark cohort that involves approaching Arden Vul, they flat out refuse to do so now.
Would they go in, say, to the set market?
No, they will not go. There are stories that the Windarks have suffered horribly at the hands of Kraz, and they are rightfully scared and do not want to lose more men. So they do not go. They do not approach Arden Vul anymore.
Would they go with the fox?
Huh?
Would they go with a fox?
With a fox?
In a box?
Could they if they no I have a question for Lady Alexia on that note, actually, which is that we've noticed Kraz never comes down here. I presume the city has adequate defenses against a dragon.
No, I don't think we do, but the dragon has no reason to pay attention to us. So and we've been here for many years, so I don't think that's likely to change anytime soon.
So he's not just looking for gold. He's looking for something that's not here. Is that right? Not here in Gosterwick. Is there something about Arden Vul that he's hunting?
Just the sheer amount of treasure that comes out of there is what kind of keeps him around, is what the general word is. She suspects that Kraz is one of the very few surviving dragons that were used in the war of the Theosos and Sordians 1,200 years ago by both sides.
We had that supposition before, remember, guys, with the missing dragon eggs and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, the Setites. So she knows a great deal about the Setites. They serve an important role in Arden Vul's ecosystem. They're well ordered, they're well guarded, and their headquarters, the forum, basically, is a well guarded place for the exchange of goods, treasures, and slaves. And it's because of its well organized. It's just the most well organized faction, basically. That it tends to be a good neutral meeting zone for a lot of the factions. Reports that she's been brought to her by her spies is that the estimated faction size is approximately 150 people, all devout Setites. She knows the logothete of the Drome in Narcelion. The Drome is basically the intelligence agency, the secret police of the Empire. Narcelion being the capital of the Exarchate. It's where the Drome is located on this continent. The logothete, the head of the Drome, his name is Keiko the Lame, and Keiko has an agent in the form. And she said, this might be good information for you should you wish to infiltrate. The contact's name is known as Meral the Keymonger, Meral. So he is a agent of the Drome. And should you be able to prove your good intentions to him, he might be able to provide you with more information, certain rare keys, which is what he's known for, and a place to hole up near the forum that might be safe from prying eyes. It's a good contact to look up if you ever make your way there. Because from what I've heard of your exploits in Arden Vul, your safety in the forum of Set, should you appear, would be greatly compromised.
Oh, yeah. They don't like us at all.
Yeah, we're not their favorite folks.
So she says the structure, the higher ups in the cult, they're led by three what are known as pontifexes, high, powerful clerics of Set. The top, of course, is the high priestess. Her name is Stefania, and under her are her second and her third. The second is known as Marius Junienos. Yes, of the Junienos clan. It's one of the 5 great families. And the third is a man known as, his name is Lacadion. So there's the 3 of them, Stefania, Marius, and Lacadion. However, the second most powerful Setite in general, right below Stefania, is a man that goes by the name Belisarius. And Belisarius, my reports say, is actually is known as the overseer. He basically takes care of all the secular, non-religious functions of the cult itself. Facilities and repairs and resource gathering and all that sort of thing. Keiko's intelligence has revealed that he is a rabid, devout Setite, make no mistakes, but he is also thoroughly misogynistic and does not like Princess Stefania ruling the cult. And he is not a named cleric, however, so he knows that he will not be able to ascend to that power, so he wants to replace Stefania with Lacadion the third. All right, and he is subtly trying to convince Lacadion to make that play. All right, so there is a rift there. Our intelligence provided to us from Meral is that the pontifexes reside in secret chambers to the north and west of the forum, beyond the 3 mysteries of Set. That kind of sets off a little thing in your head because you know that there are also 3 mysteries of Thoth, which you have already encountered. Speaking of rifts within the cult, there is a word that there has been a big shakeup internally in the Guild of Service, which is the slaver wing of the cult that basically is self-ruling. There appears to be a shakeup internally within that guild. The slave trade has dwindled of late as a result, and people are whispering that it's no coincidence that the guild started withdrawing after 3 strange figures were seen approaching the Setites' watchtower outpost on the surface almost 2 weeks ago. One of them, people could swear, was a giant white-furred 4-armed baboon. More weird rumors that I can't really countenance. There are a couple people witnesses who could swear that one of the 2 human figures with that white ape was none other than Gunnar, the guild master of the Guild of Service.
So, do you know who the third figure is?
They have no idea who the third figure is, but that person seemed to be leading the person who looked like Gunnar against his will.
I think I have an idea.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's Gerlad. I mean,
I know.
That was when he went.
I know it is. I know. Should we tell her? Might be. We hate his guts.
I think there's a value to quid pro quo on something like this.
Yeah,
she's already pretty well informed. So letting her know that we're also informed on stuff like this, Ted, will only up our, I think is worth the giving out information type thing in my mind. Right?
I agree. Like I mean, I don't necessarily want to give it away for free, but I don't think it is. We're getting a lot of info here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will venture as thus, John. So I've heard of what you speak, my lady, and it has come also to our ears of this meeting, and it is believed that the third person there is a man known as Gerlad. He is the leader of the White Apes and was briefly in collusion with the Setites, but the rumor is they've had a falling out, and perhaps that has somewhat diminished the supply of slaves.
She says that's good to know. I don't really draw the conclusion about the slave numbers dwindling, but perhaps
if it could simply be coincidence. But if that is the thing that precipitated the falling out in the Guild of Service, I don't know. That's
very possible. I mean, like as I said, people were saying that people don't think it was a coincidence that the trade dwindled slightly, like it's not gone, but slightly, right after these figures were spotted. And if one of those people was indeed Gunnar, the question is what is the guild master himself, notoriously reclusive, speaking with this man that you claim rules over baboons? Like what on earth would he be doing there? And why was he in a position of subservience to this crazed man, for that matter? But a mystery for another time, perhaps. As far as if you are intent upon visiting the forum, I'm sure you already know that there is, of course, the main cliffside entrance on the western side of the river. You have to ascend via the baskets that they raise and lower. So you would hope to be in their good graces, or at least be on your best behavior. That appears to be the main way to get into the forum these days, according to my sources. However, there has been reports that there is likely, according to the historic, back when the cult of Set was actually part of the Arcantian Empire and welcomed in ancient times, when they were at their full flowering, that there is rumors that there was a main temple of Set that was to the west of the main entrance down the pyramid. And historical records have indicated that there was a grand staircase that led down from that main temple over many flights directly to the forum. Of course, assuming that the cult was quick, the modern day cult was quick to claim any past remnants of their sites, their holy sites within Arden Vul, is likely that temple is probably guarded. But I put it there because I know that you are very familiar with the general area at the base of the pyramid. We also have heard that the Guild of Service, more than the actual cult itself, often uses as an entrance what's been described as a rickety bridge leading to the arena. And supposedly the entrance to the forum via this rickety bridge is near the base of the Long Stair, which is a name that is draped with dread and horror.
It's a terrible place, my lady. A terrible, terrible place.
You have witnessed it yourself and lived to tell the tale. That speaks highly of your abilities.
It's why the cult doesn't like us very much.
And she kind of turns one eye towards what's the name? Freitas? Freitas, yeah. And Freitas kind of raises an eyebrow, and then Alexia nods, and Freitas hands Alexia a scrap of what appears to be kind of ripped paper. And she says, in addition, there's this. I got this from one of my knights of the Azure Shield who actually was captured by these slavers and was managed to escape, a harrowing escape from the slave pits. And he stole it from one of the slave master's desks while he was making his escape. And she said, it might be of interest to you. And I think that this is the least I can do for what you've done for me so far. It has an address. It has a sequence, what appears to be colors. And from what I've heard from a certain adventuring sage, these tiles, these colors correspond to tiles that were used by the ancient Thothian priests to teleport about their chambers. So it has like a sequence of colors. Like, you don't really need to know that. But there was what the knight noted on there, however, was that there was a quick modern Arcantian note that was near the address, right? Like it was like written by someone in contemporary times. And it said the following. She kind of hands it to you so you can read it. And it says, near the cliff entrance, with a question mark, need tiles. Question current chattel. Recent KW aligned party suspected of using circles. Gislu may know their whereabouts.
Can you?
Yeah, that's a lot of names right there. That was a lot of names.
There was one name.
Well, the KW part, KW, that's King Wenceslas or whatever his name is. What's the Goblin King's name?
Whiskin.
Or
Whiskin.
Whiskin.
Yeah, this is probably about us, guys.
That's us. He's talking about us.
Yeah,
because they're talking about a recent party using the teleport circles.
So near the cliff entrance, need tiles.
Near the cliff entrance with a question mark.
Yeah.
Need tiles.
Yeah.
Question current chattel. Recent KW aligned party suspected of using circles. Gislu may know their whereabouts.
And
I don't know if any of that means anything to you, but what speaks to me is that there is a possible teleportation circle that is near their actual cliff entrance. So I don't know if that would be useful for you. I don't know if you would be in any less danger if you should just approach via the main entrance, but perhaps if you had the means to teleport, and she kind of looks at the line that says KW aligned party, then looks at you without actually, saying anything. If you have the means to teleport, that may be able to grant you access where they are not looking.
So we're going to need about 3 tons of explosive dynamite powder or whatever gunpowder you've got, anything like that, or just napalm. We're going to take care of these Setites for you, no problem. All right. I have one question.
Gislu is Gislu the who is Gislu again? Is Gislu the goblin that's leading the is that leading the one leading the snot clan or whatever against
Yes.
King Whiskin?
Yep.
I think it's one of King. It is. I thought it was Whiskinum's advisor.
Whiskin is. Yeah, hold on. I think John just said it was.
He just said it is. So Gislu is the one who's leading the Black Snot clan, trying to overthrow Whiskinum.
Correct.
So one more time, what's Gislu's mention in this?
Gislu may know their whereabouts is the question on the note.
Okay.
This was found on a slave master's desk.
Yeah. So that means that Gislu is working with the Setites and is probably working to. I think we kind of knew this, that he had allies outside of the Goblin world to help overthrow King Whiskinum for sure. this, I wonder, is she giving us this piece of paper?
Yes.
Okay, because we could take this back to King Wiskinam and be like, hey, I think you've got grounds to arrest that little turd bag right now because it looks like he's working with the Setites.
Well, he wants us to find Gislu anyway to help to kind of like find out what the Black Snots are up to. Like that's one of our current side quests.
Hiding out in the troll market stead or something.
Yeah, we got to go find.
I forgot that. Yeah, okay.
No, that was a mistake that I made, and I corrected it in a later episode that he was actually supposed to be rumored to be hanging out in the form of Set.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, I have a question that I think. Tell me what you guys think. So, without directly confirming that we have this thing or anything, kind of playing it off that we don't, I'm curious if she might know about, because remember the one thing that Kraz asked us for is the golden rod. And we've never found any evidence of what it is. And it might just be a piece of gold and he wants it. And I thought, she might know something if we ask, like, hey, can't hear you, Mike.
Sorry, I'm muting myself so I don't sneeze all over you guys. Yeah, I'm okay with asking her that. As long as we don't say, hey, we have it. We can say, hey, we came across this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like something like we might ask the guys at the identification zone, but she might know.
She might know. So yeah, John, I want to ask like this, but my lady, this is marvelous. Your generosity with this information, with this extremely fine, large chest filled with gold coins, which is one of my very favorite things. How did you know? I have one more question for you. Some days ago, we were accosted by Kraz on the surface, and I tell you, my lady, he is terrifying in every aspect. He chose not to eat us because, as you know, he wants gold, and I think he's too big to go crawling around in Arden Vul for it himself. So he gets adventurers to bring it up for him and the factions to pay him. He specifically asked us for some kind of gold rod, a solid gold rod. He described it in great detail, about 15 inches long, an inch and a quarter in diameter, solid gold. He was very clear about it. Do you have any idea what that is? I mean, is it just a gold rod, or is he out? I mean, maybe he wants something, some kind of art. This isn't a regalia thing, is it? This is not some artifact of ancient Thoth, or like, what's he got us into? Because he's demanding the next time he sees us, if we don't have it, he's going to eat us.
So she looks at, as soon as you bring up the goldenrod, both her and Freitas watch you unblinkingly as you kind of relate your story and give your question, as if they know exactly what you're talking about. They just kind of have a small smiles on their faces. And Alexia sort of taps her fingers on the arm of her throne. And she says, I'm going to tell you a story that is going to seem unrelated, but you'll understand in a moment. There is rumored to be a great set of obsidian gates. They are known as the obsidian gates. A gigantic pair of black stone doors in the Arden Vul, beyond which lies the fabled wealth of several lost civilizations. They are famously difficult to penetrate. You can ask many of the veteran adventuring bands who have been in Arden Vul about them. They all will have differing stories. But all of them will conclude with, we were not able to penetrate the doors. Each report about them usually includes a surefire way to get past them. Some of those schemes were rumored to include the tracing of strange glyphs on the doors, like 3 times, sacrificing to the correct god in front of the gates, locating a stone guardian whose fingers act as keys to the gates, so forth, like very weird sort of magical means to penetrate the gates themselves. Regardless of the variety of methods for breaching the gates, the reports uniformly describe that there are vast and unique treasures to be looted behind the gates. Now, the better rumors that I've heard, the ones that I've been able to verify, at least the source of the rumors as being a little bit more sophisticated than the other ones, add that these treasures come in the form of ancient lost civilization that predates the Archontians. There are a handful of accounts that reveal that the gates are warded against the most ordinary magic, including spells such as knock and teleport. And the rumors pretty solidly place the obsidian gates at the end of or just beyond what's known as the Hall of 40 Pillars in the middle levels of Arden Vul, below the Thothian precincts. All agree that the gates were never penetrated by the great sorcerers, the great Arcantian sorcerers of antiquity. They are one of the great barriers to everyone who has attempted to plumb the depths of Arden Vul for many, many, many ages. So there's a great amount of mystery surrounding them. However, I have good intelligence, she raises an eyebrow, that none of these methods for entry are accurate. And what's more, I'm fairly certain that the key to opening them, and I may or may not have discovered this information relayed to me by a certain adventuring sage, that the key to opening them lies with the use of 15-inch long rods made of either solid gold or solid platinum. Now, there's rumors that are abounding recently that Kraz has been particularly miffed about the theft of a certain golden rod from his own hoard, which you have just confirmed, that bears, according to its description, a striking resemblance to one of these keys. And she looks at you very knowingly as she says that. So, you said that you have come across one of these golden rods. Perhaps you know of its whereabouts currently? Or perhaps you know of a platinum one that you may have come across as well?
I saw a platinum one. Yeah.
How many of these rods are required to open the doors?
No one knows. But I am fairly confident that those are the keys necessary to penetrate. But no one knows of the whereabouts of these rods. However, here before me, presenting to me a letter of great value, is a skilled adventuring party that not only has done that, but has also just willingly admitted to coming across one of these golden rods.
That's not actually what I said, John.
To be fair, he asked us,
for one. I didn't actually say I had one. I said Kraz demanded we go find one.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know. What is it? What is this thing?
That's fine. That's fine.
Come on, Ted. Ride the lightning, baby. It was a good supposition. John's not playing a gimme. It's okay.
I know. I'm just, okay. I saw a platinum one in Goblin Town. It would have been unpolitic to of course, just brain a goblin and steal it.
She laughs and she's like, I can assure you that your underground cousins have no idea what they have in their hands. It would be very wise and very beneficial to both you and me, I think, should you be able to get control of that rod and any others that you find.
You think there's regalia back there?
Could be. I don't know. It's my instinct is to say no, only because the rumors, the solid rumors, do say that whatever is beyond the gates predates the Arcantians, and Arcantians have never, in all the thousands of years that they've been in Arden Vul, ever been able to penetrate the gates. So
I see. So the gates and the contents beyond predate anything Arcantian, predate anything Arden or Vul.
Correct.
So it's the Radishans.
I don't know what that word means.
There's all sorts of weird stuff down there, my lady. It's a strange place.
That I know. I know that there are many civilizations that were there before Arden and Vul actually stepped foot upon the cliff atop the plateau. And it does kind of illustrate my point, the fact that even our great founders, the people who founded the place, also reported sighting the obsidian gates in place and impenetrable at that time before any Arcantian force was actually brought to bear upon the plateau.
Wow. This place is old.
My lady, if I can be so bold, your power base is here in Gosterwick. And yet many of the things that you seek and that you wish for lie within the ruins of Arden Vul. What are your what I know you probably can't tell me too much, but what is your game? What is your game here? What are your goals for Arden Vul? Are you planning to invade at some point? Are you planning on establishing a power base within that area? Is there some way that we can help you designate an area for that?
I recognize you as very capable adventurers, but you are not politicians. And I even though I thank you greatly for what you've been able to do for us, my long-term plans shall remain mine and my advisors alone. I will say, though, that of course my ultimate goal, which I don't think is a secret for anybody who knows me and why I set up this town, is to make my rightful claim. I'm not asking for anything that is not mine by blood right. My rightful claim to rulership over Burdock's Valley, which includes Arden Vul. Right now, my brother has it, and he has it illegally, and I intend to prove him wrong. And I think my case before the Emperor will only be solidified if I was able to present the 4 arconal regalia.
Well, you've got my.
So you would present those to the Emperor, then you wouldn't keep them for yourself.
I would. They are the. She's not stuttering like I am. They are the symbolic status symbols of the archons who ruled Arden Vul. So I would, if the Emperor demanded them, I, of course, as a loyal citizen, would, of course, voice them over. But it is more to prove that I am the rightful ruler.
They belong in the museum, of course.
I mean, and I know, guys, just as an aside, and David, if you were here, would probably be throwing something heavy. But like, I know that it's a blunt question, but I'm just curious. Like, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, what information she could give us, because if she's trying to seek like an actual power base in Arden Vul, it seems like she's kind of going about it like in kind of like a weird, like in a weird way, right? Like, why doesn't she just send like 50 Azure Knights down into Goblin Town or like down into the Debouche and just be like, this is ours now, bitches? You know, like, I mean, like, she's got the manpower for that. So I don't understand.
She does not have the manpower for it. You would be able to surmise from what you've already heard and listened, the information you've gotten in Arden Vul, that the Varamani themselves would be enough to handle any amount of force that the Knights of the Azure Shield could bring to bear.
Speaking of Varamani and strange people down there, have you ever heard of a fellow named Kerbal Khan?
Kerbal Khan, of course, we've heard of Kerbal Khan. Yes, many adventurers and many of my subjects who have ventured up there have told stories of his automatons and encounters with that strange old wizard. I see no harm, at least according to the reports that I've heard. But word is that he was an exiled member of the Collegia for deeds which are better not spoken of, apparently. I haven't been able to suss out exactly what those were. But par for the course when it comes to people in Gosterwick and Arden Vul. Everyone's hiding from something, so I can't really fault him for that. And he seems to provide a very valuable service to the adventurers who plumb the depths.
All deals are sealed in blood.
This is what I've heard him say, that he demands.
Yeah, don't suppose you ever heard what he does with the blood.
No, although I should mention that people I've talked to who have actually encountered him and have given him blood have reported no ill effects.
Can confirm.
Well, there you go.
For now. For now. All right. Let's.
Are you done? I mean, I just have one more thing, if I may. And he would, politely approach and kind of glance over to Freitas and say, "Milady, do you know if she's seeing anyone?"
Freitas?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean,
is Freitas seeing anybody, or is Lady Lex? You're talking to Lady Lexley about Freitas?
Yeah.
I'll defer to the dice.
Please go role play a nice romantic dinner with Wolford. Please role play that.
1 to 3, she's taken. 4 to 6, she's not. She is not taken.
4 to 6. Hey. Well, I understand it's very rude to ask a person out while they're at the place of work, but do you know what time she gets off?
I'll let you guys handle that off screen as we fade to black for that. This is a good time to take our first break. We will be right back. All right, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to ask of Lady Alexia, or anything you want to impart to her, or are we done?
No, let's hustle Wolfhard out of here before he does something embarrassing.
Yeah.
What?
I was,
Look, she's hot. Look at her. Name like
I-
Freitas the Stern. Come on.
this feels like a subplot in Game of Thrones or something here. What was it? Anyway,
Okay.
if she hasn't offered Mort a stronghold, I guess we should just leave. Yeah.
All right. So basically, your reward is you got 3,000 gold. That's cold hard cash.
Yep.
And then you have info regarding the Obsidian Gates, what the likely use of your golden rod is, which is probably the biggest thing that you got.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy she knew that.
You have about 4.
Oh, sorry. Do we think the Obsidian Gates might be the ones that we were dicking around with in Goblin Town?
No. Not if it's at the end of the Hall of 40 Pillars.
Oh,
That's something we haven't found yet, I think.
okay.
You got about 4 possible leads on entrances to the Forma set, one way or the other. You've got a full breakdown of what is known surface level, at least, about the Form's organization, possible internal strife, that whole thing. And you've got info on Kraz as well. So pretty good haul from Lady Alexia, all without giving up the regalia. So the butt note was very, very valuable to her.
Yeah. All right. I'm super glad to hear that the Wine Dark cohort refuses to ascend the cliff, because that minimizes the chance of some kind of bad run-in with them somewhere in the dungeon. I'm disappointed to hear in the size of the set cult, although not surprised. And John, I wasn't clear. The spies report a size of Setites of 150 people. Is that including or not including the Guild of Service?
It's including.
Okay.
And that's a rough number.
Yeah. No, that's
keep making new Setites all the time.
Oh dear. I don't like the sound of that.
I actually would actually, now that you bring that up, Wolford, she would probably clarify, because the rate of attrition and the ability to replace lost numbers is a big factor for any of these factions, right? The cult, despite its power and organization, it's very difficult for them to replace lost members, just because it's prescribed, right? Like, you have to convince somebody that's actually living like a normal human being that set's awesome, and that's a tough thing to do. It takes a special kind of person to be able to convince them of that. So it is not easy to actually replace their numbers, unlike goblins, for instance, which are fecund, right? So
thank you.
Just keep that in mind. They're powerful, but they're very careful about taking risks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just as a side note, amongst ourselves, we should be very careful to make sure the Setites don't get a hold of the Iron Circlet. That would be a disaster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, anybody, it's going to be a disaster. That dungeon is not filled with the nicest of people, except
goblins. Well,
Imperial
goblins would use it for, as it's intended. They would be very.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. So I'm very curious about this Hall of 40 Pillars thing, and talking about sort of middle level. What does she call it? Yeah, below the Thothian precincts. So if the Thothian precincts is the debouchement level, then there's stuff down below it. Obviously, we know that there is a set and all that kind of stuff, but there's definitely like multiple levels we haven't found yet.
Well, what I don't remember is how many pillars there were in that room that led to the spaceship with the stories, each with those naves along the outside with the giant. So
that actually has a name that that was known as the Hall of Shrines.
Yeah.
That's what you see in that living mosaic every time you try to go to the fire pit.
Yeah. It didn't have pillars. It had statues.
Correct. On pedestals, on pediments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, all right. You raise a good point. There were a couple of doorways out of there that we didn't go through.
I think a few, right?
Yeah.
You didn't fuck with anything in that in that hall.
We were so easy to kill.
Yeah. I mean,
We
you took a lot of cool items off the bodies that were there, but I think the bodies scared you away.
Well,
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah, for no reason. We were just big cowards, weren't we, John? Nothing to see here.
We just broke out of jail. We had no idea where we were, how to get out. That was the only stuff we had.
I'm quite happy to keep delving. It's you guys keep pushing us into more faction play and
So
speaking of which, guys, I have an important thing to remind you of. Today is the 13th of Jelenios.
Yep.
Tomorrow, it's the 13th. And tomorrow is the big party with the mother, the party that mother set up with the goblins. So King Wiskinum is supposed to be there. She's supposed to be there. That's tomorrow. So we can futz around this afternoon, but the 14th is tomorrow. And I think that, we need to, we talked about it a little bit on Discord, but we got to be able to get back to the debouchement tomorrow. And I think the best way to do that's going to be using our rug for now. Eventually we're going to have to come back and overland so we can bring the rug with us. But we want to make sure we're there at that party to make sure that our alliances, keep up, nothing crazy goes down. King Wiskinum doesn't like take any sips of stuff he's not supposed to, stuff like that.
I agree. I will say, my notes say today is the 12th.
It's the 13th.
It's the 13th.
Because when I asked, our last session, when we went to go buy clothes and have our audience to Lady Alexia, I said, what day is today? And you said it was the 12th. So it's the 13th now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How did it become the 13th?
We rested once. Yeah.
So what do you do?
Oh, I see what happened. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can't hear you, Mike.
We're gonna party like it's the 13th of Jelenios.
Okay. No, we need to move the stash.
Well, we want to move the stash so that it's kind of safe in case something goes really wrong at the party, red wedding style. We wanted to do that. We wanted to, Mike, I don't know if you were going to do something with Lothar, but today's the day to do that if you're going to do it. And also we were going to hire a retainer.
So I've got two thoughts for Lothar. One is to just bite the bullet, become a cleric of Mitra, party on, keep our most powerful cleric in the party and just keep on trucking. Because, when it comes down to it, it's probably a more fun way to handle that situation for me personally. But then the other thing is the only other avenue we haven't really explored is whether or not maybe Kerbold Khan can take a little blood that's leaking from my eye sockets and give me some cool robot eyes or something awesome. So we could do either way. But if I do the Mitra thing, I'd asked John over Discord how long that was going to take. John, I think you said it was going to be it was going to be a while, right? It was not going to be a one afternoon thing. It was going to be at least, I think you said a week, if I'm remembering correctly.
No, it's a day.
It's a day.
So
right. Okay.
You can have if you want to do that, you could do this day. This day could be the day.
Okay.
It's your call, man.
We're going up to the Goblin Market anyway to go see the king, and because I think we might want to. I think you were kind of hinting at this, Matt, giving him the poison periapt for the duration of the party, so he doesn't get poisoned at least.
Yeah, there are some things that we can do, right, to make sure that he's protected if we want to do that.
Doesn't Elizabeth have a protection from poison spell?
Yep, I think we can. I think she can cast that on, and his people might be able to cast that on him as well. But she could, to do that if he would like that. We could loan him the periapt. The periapt, it was a low level. I checked the notes. We rolled for how good it was. It's not the kind of periapt that gives you immunity to poison. I think it just raises your your roll by one or something. So
goblins too have great saves already.
That's true. He's our king.
Good to be
But,
go.
you know, we wanted to get there in time, at least the morning of the 14th, to be able to warn him and, you know, take care of a little business, make sure that our stash isn't at risk, right?
Yeah.
In case things go south.
Let's get Lothar down to the Goblin Market and see if Kerbo Khan can, you know, give him some robot eyes or something. That'd be cool.
So, but can we move the stash first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do probably a couple of these things at the same time. Also off camera, John, I went and bought some lamellar armor for Breggy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've marked that down.
Cool.
And if I take a portion of what we have in coin in our secret hideout, plus the coin that we just got, and we can put it at the rarities factor.
Okay, so are you transferring all of your stash to the rarities factor from the pyramid stash?
Well, that's what I'm about to ask. So, guys, we have right now 3,000 coin in our hand and 46,334 gold pieces in cash in the pyramid. I'm proposing we take like 40,000 and put it in the rarities factor along with the 3,000 we just got.
Yeah, I have no problem moving cash, right? Because that always gives us like a good, like, oh crap, we're all dead. Let's restart in Gosterwick. And when we have money kind of scenario, right? But I don't think we put anything that we don't want Wick Trimmer to get his hands on in the stash. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. Here's what I would add. That money has been incredibly valuable to have on hand when we need to make big bribes to factions down there in the dungeon. We don't want to have to be in a place where we have to say, oh, wait, just a minute. We need to run down to Gosterwick and, you know, or, you know, will you take a check from the rarities factor? I think that we should put some money in the rarities, but not nearly so much. I think that we should keep the majority of that cash ready for us to access and just move it short term just for that party and then kind of move it back. Because, you know, we for so long we've been talking about establishing a second stash anyway, and we don't want to have to go back to Gosterwick to try to.
But we still have the other carpet, Matt. And so say we set up our new stash down in Eustis's, like, you know, headquarters. We still have the carpet that can go to Gosterwick, and then we can shuttle everything back. But I think only in order to move all the money, but don't forget we also have gems, which are highly portable and can be used for bribes as well.
And jewelry. We've got like 30,000 gold in jewelry or 40,000 gold in jewelry too. So
the thing is with the carpet, right? We don't want to leave it in Gosterwick because that's the only way that quick access to Gosterwick is there. Because then it locks it down forever in Gosterwick.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we're leaving it in like Wick Trimmer's thing. That would be just as bad as leaving like all of our books and all the rest of that stuff. I'm just saying is like if we can get to Gosterwick one time, then we can get all that money back out, right? Like, I mean, I just feel like you're like, okay. I picture our stash in Arden Vul getting compromised in some way, shape, or form. The goblins discover where it is, or they discover that we're not allies anymore, or whatever. We can pack up and leave with just Laryl's sack, all the books and all the weird stuff that we have, and all the rest of that stuff, and we can hightail it, you know. But we can't move 40,000 gold or 50,000 gold, and you know, leaving it in Wick Trimmers might also be a loss. Right. It might be out of the game so far that we can never recover it. But on the flip side, it's also kind of like it's kind of not, you know, it's probably a lot better than if the Setites get a hold of our 50K or whatever. Keeps them spending money. But why have all that heavy stuff in Arden Vul?
Well, I think the reason to have the heavy stuff in Arden Vul, like the lion's share of our loot, is that's where we'll need to spend it. And if we like, let's say we meet another faction, we want to make a deal with them. If we say, okay, we just have to run to Gosterwick, you know, it's going to take a day. We're going to go to Gosterwick. We've got tons of money there. We're going to go there and get it and then do the rug to transfer back. And then we have to walk back with the rug again. It's just a lot more logistically complicated than if we have a stash or two, because we want to do a second stash in Arden Vul anyway. It's easy to get to if it's still in the dungeon. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I think both points are fair. What I would say is The 40,000 I proposed was fairly arbitrary. We can move certainly less. I will say that Mike is not incorrect. We have a number of gems and jewelry which are very lightweight, easy to transport, and a single, giant ruby goes a long way as a bribe, just as 5,000 gold pieces does. So let's split the difference and put the payment from Lady Alexia and 20,000 gold pieces into wick trimmers, which would give us a solid 30,000 in savings in Gosterwick, with which we could do almost anything we want to do and still have cash in Arden Vul for bribes and whatnot.
Okay.
What do you say, Mike? Split the difference? 20. Okay, I'll move 20,000.
Compromise is the soul of nobility.
Something like that. This is session 84. Okay, move to rarities, backdoor, 20,000. I should put that as a minus, not as a plus. There we go. Okay. So that gives us.
I think we had like 8,000. Yeah.
We had 8,000 there already.
Yeah.
So it gives us 31,444 gold pieces at wick trimmers.
Okay, cool.
Now,
so you hop between. Go ahead.
Well, there's the safety of our other stuff in the stash and whether we want to temporarily move that during the party in case there's some big all-out thing, or just being present should protect it.
I think maybe the most valuable things like the books, right? Like gold is gold, but those books are those books, right? So why don't we move those books? Keep, not all of us will go. Some of us can stay with the stuff in the hotel room and then move it back after the party.
That's kind of what I was getting at, is move a bunch of particularly valuable things, irreplaceable things to the hotel during the party.
How many slots worth of books do we have?
Just a moment, and I'll tell you. We have the library of the AV Club currently has something like, let's see, 15 volumes, 19, 20, 21, about 25 to 30 books, including old spell books that used to belong to people. So
all of them can fit in Laurel's sack for a quick escape, right?
Yep.
So maybe while we're doing this party and while everything is like in flux, right? We don't know what happens after the party. Why don't we just protectively put those things in the sack already so that we can retrieve them and get the hell out of there if we need to? You know what I'm saying? We don't have to bring them with us if you guys don't feel good about that. But maybe just leave Laurel's sack with all the books and shit in it. And then that way, if for some reason we have to move, then we can do it quickly. And if we don't move them,
I'd rather just put since we have the time, let's just put those books in the hotel room. Let's keep Laurel's sack available with us because it's so useful. Also, it's one of our most valuable things. It's the safest when it's with us, right? And then, so the books can be safe in the thing. There'll still be just some treasure and gold and stuff in the stash during the party, and then we can move it back after. I don't think we're that far off.
It's full of various weird things we found, toys, ancient teakwood boxes with white powder, symbols of Thoth. It's full of all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a ton of valuables. But the books, I'm with Matt. We should keep the bag with us and move the books.
Yeah, and just whatever we think are the most valuable things, we can watch them in the hotel room.
Okay,
but it's simple enough. We have a day to do it. Let's do that.
I don't want to argue. Let's just go.
Okay, fine. All right, so we moved a bunch of stuff around, John, and then we're going to head back to the debouchement and go. What? Oh, we got to hire a cleric.
We're going to hire a cleric. The eyeball thing has pointed out the value of having maybe a backup cleric in the party.
Can we get that Jador guy? Is he for sale?
No. Okay, so your cleric retainer is a first level cleric of Mitra.
All the irony.
He's about 19 years old. He's rather sickly person, a little naive, slight of build, but very, very raring to go. His name is Baron
Awesome.
Wald.
John,
Barenwald.
can you do the voice of the pimply faced kid from The Simpsons? Is that a voice you can do for him?
Yeah. So Baron Wald is your guy. He is in the retainer folder for your guys' access when you need him.
Awesome.
But yeah, he can't cast. He's like, you know, he's like he can't cast spells yet, so first level. But
Right. Okay.
But if you, I assume you work out the normal wages and all that sort of stuff. Just mark it down.
Standard.
Oh
standard
yeah.
retainer wages.
How do we spell his name?
BERENWALD.
Okay. Baron Wald.
Forest of Baron. So the and then as well today I'm gonna allow it, since I know David was, you know, Upior's actually in town, even though he's in the NPC cloud, is he had planned to do some transcriptions while you guys were doing all of your work. So he had given me his list of what he wanted to transpose for 12 hours worth of work using our house rules for transcription. So he will be able to get that done. Just so everyone out there knows, what he had written down was, at least for this first round of transcriptions for this day, was chromatic orb, comprehend languages, enlarge, erase, forget, whole portal, magic aura, phantasmal force, and secret page are the spells that he, based on their level, basically fills up 12 hours worth of transcription.
Dude, good for Upior, man. He's going to be a beast. He's
Such a
gonna
nerd.
be a beast.
Now, just wasn't clear. Is he copying those from scrolls into his spell book, or from other spell books into his spell book?
I'm not sure of. You just give me
A
the
little
list
of both, I think.
Okay. Okay.
We have a lot of spell books with spells in them. Like Titus, just filled his spell book up with stuff last time he did inscriptions.
Okay, so just to
One
clarify,
other thing- I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
Lothar is not going to convert. Is that correct?
No, I'm going to hold off and get him to Goblin Market and see if Kerbal Khan can help him out.
Okay.
I think it'd be great. Did Matt want to do a donation for XP?
Oh, this is true. Yeah. I forgot. Thank you, Ted.
Because we had talked about we still have Yost's shares in our bank. We could donate those to a good cause. Would that satisfy everybody? To use that money?
I think that's great. Yeah.
All right. So philanthropy, basically the way it works is that you must spend a minimum amount based upon the size of the town in order to have effect. So this is considered to be a town on the chart. So that means that you must expend a minimum of 600 gold. If you just spend 600 gold, you will get 80% of that in XP, flat out, no risk, no nothing. You could just take it. If you spend more than double that, so if you spend 1,200 or more, then you have to roll on the philanthropic consequences table, which generally is not that bad, actually. It can be bad, but it's nowhere near as bad as the carousing mishap table. So depending on how much money you want to throw around.
What's the most we can do? What's the most?
Whatever you want.
The remaining money that we had paid out to Yost, it totals 3,407 pieces of gold.
Let's just make it an even 5. Should we do an even 5?
5,000 or 35?
That will get the numerical value will get you nothing mechanically, except a fat roll on the philanthropic consequences table. So like 3,000, 5,000 makes no difference.
You don't get more XP for that?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, you do. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You get 80% of it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I got to figure out. I don't know how much does Breggy need to get next level.
Yes. I mean, yeah, like with this donation, Wolford should, after tonight, should roll up to level 5, no matter minimum or not. So he's definitely down for this.
Dude, let's just roll it up to 6. Let's do 6K. That's
2,000 each.
2,000 each. Come on.
Well, Mort is so far away from leveling up that it's not actually going to make any difference right now. So if you guys want to spend more on yourselves, you should just do that.
Okay, you want to do three each, Breggy and Wolford?
Because I'm like 50,000 away. So
every little bit helps, Ted.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, true,
Each of you, please roll a d6.
A D6. I got a 2. A 2 is what I got.
I got a 1.
Okay. All right. So both of you guys, having not been in civilization for quite some time, have kind of forgotten the best way to actually give money without looking like a complete and total prick. So it becomes wildly known across town during the day as you very blatantly open up your purses and give them to charitable causes, that the AV Club is in town and they are giving away money. For Breggy, the populace appreciates your generosity, but thinks your motives are self-serving. You have -1 to all social roles. Anything that involves making an impression in the settlement is permanently at -1. Wolford, your backwards ways from outside town are quite evident, and you are just you're rubbing people the wrong way everywhere you go as you open up your wallet, and they resent your wealth and condescending manner of spending it. You have -1 to social roles in the settlement, and you may never, ever practice philanthropy there again.
I mean, I will say this. This is very appropriate. I mean, if Dice tell a story, this is right down the correct chapter for him.
So I need you guys both to subtract 3,000 gold. However, you both get to add 2,400 XP.
I took the gold out of our accounts, guys. It's all taken care of.
Okay. Now I figure out how much XP I have. I don't know how much XP I have. How much do we just get? 2,400?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what's going on?
All right. Now we're done in Gosterwick, right?
I think so. I think we're gonna sleep. We're gonna sleep in the nice hotel.
Sleep
on our like pile of money and books.
Right.
Like Scrooge McDuck, but in a library. And then go to Gosterwick. Go back to use our rugs to go back to Debouchement. We should figure out like who's gonna stay and guard. But otherwise I think we're good.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I missed it because my Miro screwed up. Did you say you were going to be sleeping here tonight?
If it's the 13th and the party's on the 14th, we might as well sleep here tonight. And then in the morning, we go up to the Debouchement and go see the king. Go see the king. Yeah.
Okay. So I need you all to take away another just flat 3 GP, not each, but total for this night's stay.
Got it. I'm gonna double it, and we're gonna get a nice bottle of wine.
Sure. Okay. And then the next day arrives.
I've already paid for tonight. I already took it out. Okay. All right, fine. Sorry.
Let's see what the weather is. The weather is nice out today. So it's warm. Good. It's about mid-70s, light air coming from the southwest in the clear skies.
Oh, I forgot to say, Lisbeth spent the day still doing her spell research. So that was two days in the up on the temple mound there.
Okay, cool.
Researching druidic spells.
Cool. Okay. So then in the in your room at the Stunned Acolyte, you hop on your rug and you pop back to the stash. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, can I roll his hit points real quick?
That was
enough
up
for him to level up to level 5.
Okay.
Sweet.
He's a fighter, right? Yeah.
Fighter D8.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. That's 6. And he has no con mods, so I will take these 6 extra hit points.
I think that's
bring
it
him
for
up
you.
to 19.
Yep.
That's it.
Sweet.
Okay, great. Cool. Welcome to 5th level. Amazing.
I bet that Furtus the Stern will like a 5th level weirdo even better.
Oh, well, I don't know if that -1 to all social rolls is going to do much for his date.
That's true. You may have screwed the pooch there, pal.
She'll see the true me inside behind my gruff exterior. Don't you worry.
I'm sure that's what happened. That's why you got the -1.
Okay. When you I assume that's like the very first thing you do after you eat breakfast is basically pop back to Arden Vul, right?
Pancakes,
Yes.
Arden Vul.
So let's call it that you're back in the debouche, and we'll start you at 9 a.m. on the 14th. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you arrive back in the stash, the stash pyramid, and you make your way out back to the debouche, you see that there is a distinct sense of panic amongst the goblins that are kind of hiding out there. And when they alight their eyes upon you, they come kind of rushing towards you, and looking fearfully at you as news has spread that something terrible has happened in the Great Hall, and they fear in the Beastmen precincts themselves. They tell you that the assigned goblins that were sent down to the Great Hall to sort of clean it up with the Beastmen, you remember that whole thing? They came running back, reporting to Bottleneck and the other goblins in the debouche that the Beastmen that they were working with were retreated quickly back east, beyond the barricades, back into their compound, when they heard horns and alarms that were sounded from within the Beastmen compound. And then they fully admit that they were scared and they ran away. And they worry that something horrible may have happened in the Beastmen compound, but they have been too fearful to explore, to question and find out. But they have had no contact over the past day with any Beastmen since then. And they fear the worst.
Oh, can you say Neferet?
They're all very aware that today is the day that they were supposed to be having a huge party, but right now they don't. They're at a little bit beside themselves because they're too scared to go investigate, and they're worried that the king is going to be extremely pissed when he ends up with his whole retinue coming up here to have a party that no longer is going to happen.
Mort will say, "Have you sent messengers to the king?"
Bottleneck actually says, like, yes, we have. Actually, we haven't heard word yet because it's relatively it happened relatively recently.
We shall go and see the king. Bottleneck, I think you would be well advised to prepare the defenses just in case.
Well, he sent word down there. You don't have to see the king unless you have a particular reason. But
I think we should probably check out what the hell's going on down there, don't you?
Well, I mean, that seems like that's walking into a bad situation.
Indeed, especially since Lothar has no eyes. I figure we can kill two birds with one stone, is sort of go down to see the king and get Lothar's eyes and explain the situation a little more clearly than a bunch of chattering goblins. I
think what he's suggesting is go scout the Great Hall and see what's going on there.
Let's just go check it out, see if we can see what's going on.
We could do that. I have a feeling if we do it that way, we will almost certainly get it embroiled. Do you mind getting embroiled?
Let's go do a scout. Let's go do a scout to see if we see like bodies and ruined.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Before we do that, we have all those magic items. Matt had some suggestions on dispersal. I think we ought to make sure we know who's got what before we get embroiled.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much the only magical item that can reliably hit Neferet is the pin, right? As far as we know.
Well, no, I think we were hitting her. I think she just has good damage resistance.
Well,
I think she just takes half damage and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, for Neferet, Manweeper is the weapon, right?
Right.
Because it's a +3 against followers of Thoth, alive or dead. So that's the go-to. That's the jam for that one.
So who's using that?
Well, I have Wolfhard carrying it because he made an off-camera deal with Upior to wear the girdle of giant strength as well. Okay. So that makes him kind of a beast with that thing.
So right now,
to carry the black iron spear.
Magical items. Breggy has like no magical items, not anything. So
I think whoever's got the girdle should have the black iron spear, and someone else should have the man weeper.
Well, you can use Man Weeper then. That's just fine.
Yeah,
it's a two-hander.
Okay. Two-hander. What else?
It's +1 on its own, +3 against followers of thought.
It's a halberd. It's a halberd.
It's a ranseur.
Ranseur.
And then, boy, we gave a lot of stuff to Upior that would have been handy against what's her bucket.
Well, I mean, guys, you guys realize any kind of combat with her is a fail state because we were way more powerful the first time we went up against her than we are now.
Right? Yeah, so, we really don't want to engage. She took out Yo.
I mean, John, those beads of the beads of force.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is that something that only a magic user can use, or could anyone throw one of those?
Anyone can throw them. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good escape. That's a good escape mechanism right there.
Right. Like I think that would be a good one of those to make sure that we had on hand. That's a good, temporary delay while we would get out of there, or you could do a lot of damage to her. We might be able to take her down. Who knows? Okay, or she might not even be there. Who knows, right? We should just go see what's going on.
Right. Well, I just think we should be up armored.
Setites. It could be.
It could be anything, but we should be up armored for whatever it is and be at our best.
Yeah,
and not be having this conversation after John says, "Okay, you're in a room with whatever."
Right.
Oh, John, I forgot to bring my nuclear weapon. Obviously, Mort has the miniature magic chair. That's clear. That's very useful in these situations.
I mean, that only makes sense, dude.
So Elizabeth will come with us, right? And she's got the immobilizing mesh, but that was not what we thought it was. That was for, where'd that go?
That's for like summoned creatures.
Summoned things, which Neferet, I guess, is not.
Okay.
But something could be summoned, could be a loose demon worth having. So if you've got a two-handed Rancer, you're not going to need a magic shield, Breggy.
I won't need a magic shield, but I mean, she does do flame strike. Who's got the amulet of fire resistance?
Nobody does right now. So
all right, I'm going to take that for now.
That's fine.
Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, if it is Neferet, she throws another flame strike or whatever that was.
Right.
You might still be standing, so fuck her up.
Maybe.
Okay,
let's go.
Okay, we're gonna go recon. Great.
Okay, who's any retainers coming with you?
Oh, let's bring Trefco.
Oh, well,
we could.
They don't like seeing him, but on the other hand, if he comes and kicks something's ass and rips off all of its limbs, they'll probably like him a lot better. Yeah,
let's bring Trefco.
Yeah, let's bring Trefco.
That's it.
And Lisbeth.
Trefco, Lisbeth.
And
Sam?
So I was going to say Sam. Yeah.
Yep.
6 is better than 3. Okay.
All right.
Gangrene, I will leave behind with instructions to, guard the stash and to be prepared to bring, if there's a force of goblins that come, to inform them that we've gone on recon and to play backup, and he will, lead them into battle at our heels as needed.
And no Barrios?
Barrios. Fuck yeah, we're bringing Barrios.
No, because Barrios will get executed.
Right. We can't bring him.
Well, he's guarding Lothar.
Yeah, he needs to stay back.
Right. Okay, cool.
I was going to say, he might provide some very useful intel. Don't step on that square.
Trefco is very happy to go with you. It's been a long time since he's been cooped up here in the Debouche.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he's thinking primarily that he can maybe feast on some beastmen would be fantastic. But he doesn't voice that. But you can see it in his eyes.
I would know, yeah.
So you you head south carefully. So it takes about 3 turns of moving carefully to get down to the double doors that debouche into the Great Hall. So I'll put you right before those doors.
Okay.
The doors themselves are open, so you can kind of see as you're kind of in that antechamber before the Great Hall, looking into the midst of the Great Hall, that it does appear to be clean. Like it's much more clean than you've ever seen it. Like all of the remnants of those pillars there are all gone and swept up, and it looks like there are actually some new furnishings in there, relatively temporary, like on some cheap wood that looks like they were setting up like tables and things like that to set up like the big party that were hastily abandoned. But it doesn't look like there was any sort of scrum that happened here. Everything's pretty well organized. It just looks like it was sort of abandoned quickly. And there doesn't you hear and see nothing in your field of view, which is not the entire hall. I'll be careful to point out, but everything seems okay.
I'm going to put on the helmet or the mask of Toresis and look for any illusions or anything that I guess it just sees illusions to make sure that we're not walking into hidden thing.
In your field of vision, you don't see anything illusionary.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sean, I want to take a big sniff because I remember Nefret had a very distinctive odor from like her like wrappings and stuff. Do we smell anything?
Not that specifically. You don't smell that. Yeah.
Okay, so we smell plenty, but not those herbs and
yeah. You can smell. Yeah, I would say that. Nothing. Like you smell goblins and beastmen. You know what I mean? Like the remnants of those people that were here. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're at the door. We should listen. We should, look up, look down, look all around.
So
looking around the door, do we see the passage to Nefret's tomb? Is that open?
Well, that's like that. That's just the trumpet bell, right? So those are in place. But yeah, you do see that there's the three barricaded doors that lead into the Beastman compound. The southern one, you kind of pick up a slight bit of movement on the southern door itself.
The one that we've been through.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. That one at regular intervals is sort of, and you can kind of hear as well, there's just like a low thumping, and it's very regular. It's just like a dum-dum, and you see like the door sort of move a little bit, right, in the jam, just slightly, dum-dum. You only pick it up because it's like the only sound and the only movement that you see in your vision, but it happens regularly, about every 3 seconds or so.
John, what's the lighting situation in here right now?
Fully lit with torches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I want to call out to the sheep company. That's their bunk room.
No answer.
Yeah. No answer. Okay.
And it's still the same thumping.
The thumping keeps going on.
Yeah, it's just
I feel like this is a scene out of Aliens, man. Is this going to be another bug hunt, John? Nothing? No? John? I thought at least I'd get a movie quote out of you. Oh, well. Okay. So why don't we enter the Great Hall and it might be a great time to actually.
John, are there any like guys in the arrow slit rooms?
Good thinking.
No, those are
okay.
Interesting. They've always had guys.
Shine a light in there. Are they splattered with blood and like gore or like what?
You have very little field of view looking through the slits themselves, but you don't see anything untoward in there.
How do we get in there? That might be worth figuring out, actually.
We've never figured that out.
There must be a door.
That's going to be. It's got to be like back up by the place where we fought the ghouls. Like if we go up, like either there's a secret door in that hallway, or we got to go back up and to the east to get by. But I don't want to go in there now.
Well, but I mean, it might. We're doing recon. That like we don't want to leave something at our back. That's why we were looking in there. Actually, yeah. Well,
I mean, there's a thing thumping right down there. We got to let's sneak up. Why don't we sneak up behind this pillar? Not the southernmost pillar, but the second one. If we sneak over there and peek around, we should be able to have a clear line of sight if we can see what's thumping against that door. And
Okay,
Wolford will go do it. He'll sneak over there.
So you move over there, and you just have a clear view of the door, just slightly rattling in the jam every 3 seconds.
Oh, so it's like something on the other side, maybe trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I was
it definitely appears to be like there's some sort of force that's hitting the door every 3 seconds on the other side of the door.
Okay.
And remember too that this is like a barricade. It's like what's the actual way that it's done here? Make sure I get it right. Let's see. Sorry. That's that one. A. So there's a 7 foot tall masonry wall. Yeah. And then there is a 4x4 wooden door that is set into that wall.
Okay.
But the masonry wall itself is not as high as the ceiling, right? So there's actually like a gap that leads forward. That was basically that has like a fighting platform that the beastman can actually like fire over from the other side. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. A fire step.
It's almost like a little sally port. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So something is very obviously there, right? Thump, thump, thump. Do we go that obvious route, or do we want to go to the next door up?
Well, that's what I was going to suggest when Mike said the arrow slits, which was a good idea. But I was going to suggest we go to one of the other corridors and check those out. Partly because I like to know what's in there, and partly because I don't want to go right to the thing that's thumping.
Also, if you
suggestion that if it is like something horrible and monstrous, it's probably not just like thump, thump, thump. It's probably that might actually be the safest way to go, because there's not going to be a horrible monster right behind it, like knocking gently on the door.
Well, that to me sounds like I think undead have behaved that way before, where they're single-minded, not super strong, just like keep at it.
I assumed it was the pulsation of a giant inhuman thing just that had filled the void of that room and was just a pile of tentacles and claws and teeth breathing. But I like the zombie one better.
It's my kind of party.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's move it. Do we want to go southern door, middle door, or northern door? Which one?
My curiosity is all about that southern door. I'm just going to say.
You want to go thumpy thumpy? Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Trefco, remove wall.
He stumps up and he grabs the door handle and he just yanks it, just like rips it off, and it goes flying back into the hallway. So there's no more door there, basically. And he grunts in surprise as you can kind of see through his legs that there appears to be a beastman on the other side that was in the process. And it was a rat-headed beastman, kind of slight, wearing armor, armed, that had its arms at its side, and its rodent-like face was just in the process of hitting that wall. And then you notice that he kind of, Trefco sort of takes one step back, recoiling in a little bit of repugnance, as you can see that the rat man has almost been bisected by some sort of large, like rending wound that basically goes from like his clavicle all the way down to like the middle of his chest. And there's no way that any living thing could survive a blow like that. Yet it could. It slowly like raises its head and looks up at the towering form of Trefco, and then reaches out towards him. And Trefco sort of grunts in more annoyance than fear. But it looks like Trefco is about to pound the living shit out of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably
a zombie, right? It's got to be a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baron Wall, you're up. Get in there.
So it is indeed a zombie. So Trefco being right there, you can just whoever's controlling Trefco can just roll.
I'll do it. Trefco.
Head.
How many? If he goes completely ape shit on a zombie, how many? Do I roll 4 dice, or
you should have a stat block? I believe that is the case.
Oh, we do have a stat block. but I forgot to bring it up because I didn't know I was going to be running Trefco today.
Do you want me to ask Darius how many attacks he gets? She's never going to get old. It's never getting old.
No, I know how many attacks that Mort gets.
Do we have Trefco stats up?
I don't. I didn't even.
I can get it. Just one second.
All right, get him out. I'm gonna start rolling. All right.
Sheet is opening. I thought you had it. Yeah. He has 4 claw attacks. Each one is a +7.
All right. So I have. That means I have
one
27,
bite. Yeah.
a 26, an 18, and a 15.
Okay, they all hit. No need to roll for damage. There's no way that he's going to survive that. So Trefco just basically launches into that guy and rends him limb from limb, just blood everywhere. And the thing doesn't even have a chance to react.
Good job, Trefco. That was really impressive, man. Well done. Okay.
So something's in here turning things into zombies. Yeah,
bad happened. Something very bad happened.
I will say though, it's also not sounding like a Nefret thing to cleave someone from stem to stern.
There's the door that is beyond that barricade is open, but you can't really see beyond it because Trefco and the body of Trefco's just in the way.
Right.
Is there light in there, or do we need to bring a torch with us to light the way?
Let's see. It is lit.
Okay. How about Mort and Trefco proceed in first? Like Mort back right behind Trefco. Trefco arms out, claws at the ready.
Okay.
Wolford and Sam can come behind with their long weapons.
I'll bring up the rear.
You remember this as the main chamber of the Ovine Conturbs, the sheep company. But it looks like something really bad happened here. There is blood all over the floor. The banner has been torn off the wall, shredded, and there is looks like scorch marks on the ground. Weapons scattered along the ground as well, some broken, but no bodies actually. You do see that there are blood marks that are streaked, and they are leading directly to the east, which leads into, as you remember, the harem room.
Oh my God! I'm telling you, man, this is aliens, dude.
They're in the walls, man. They're in the walls.
Oh my God! Put your grin and drop your lid.
Yeah.
What movie?
If we're seeing scorch marks, that definitely seems like a Nefret.
All right. The smell precedes what you're pretty sure what you're about to find. As you enter into the harem room, it is a scene of wholesale slaughter. All of those women and all of those beastmen young are all dead and sprawled on the ground in various shapes of being very dead and looking like they died horribly as well.
This is not good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as you see these mounded bodies, some of the women actually dying in positions of protection over their children, you see some of those mounds actually start to shift a little bit, and you hear moaning coming from underneath them.
Is this like moaning?
Might not be an undead yet. We should see if there's someone to question.
Mort is the sort that would assume younglings that need to be saved, and we'll go over and cautiously move a body.
The body mounds erupt as you approach, and 4 beastmen zombies. These are also warrior like men. Actually, burst out of the mound and lunge for you with crazed dead eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Declarations.
Kind of eyes.
Kill them all. More.
Yeah. We'll move into engage. Trefco will move into engage. I think we're just going to engage, right? Let's just kill him.
Yeah. I'm just asking for declarations. So is there any spells?
No.
No spells. Lisbeth will. Yeah.
Okay. They always lose initiative, so it's your turn first. Go ahead.
Go Trefco, go.
Yeah, how many with 4 arms can he engage multiple opponents?
I think they're a little bit spread around the room, but I'd say he could probably get 2.
All right. Well, he's going to reach out with 2 arms, and
can I just suggest before we get engaged in this? I hear my kids are going to bed, so can we just do our second break real quick?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, we are back. Bladder's empty, beer's full. So continue with Trefco's attack against the two of the 4 zombies.
2 of the 4 zombies. All right. So for his first roll, is after his modifiers, he would have a 13 and a 10. Do either of those hit?
The 13 hits.
Okay. So he's going to whack 1 zombie for 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And then the other zombies, another 10 and an 18. I assume the 18 hits.
The 18 hits, yeah.
And that's a lousy 2 points of damage.
All right, so he gouges both of them with 2 of his arms, but doesn't drop
He
them.
had 2 claws hit, but they're 2 separate targets, so he doesn't get that bonus for rending damage, right?
No.
Okay.
You also get a bite.
He does not want to bite them. No.
Okay, who's up next?
I'll go next.
Yep.
Oh, you want to go, Ted? Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Fine, go ahead.
Okay. Wolfhard is going to take the black iron spear that has not seen much use recently for sad reasons. And he's going to stab at a zombie with it.
Okay.
Oh, that's cocked. Sorry. That is...
So it's only going to be a +1 for this spear, okay? Just so you know.
Okay. That is a
Magical
10 to hit.
It's a miss. AC's 11 for these guys.
Oh, so close. That's it.
Okay.
All right, I'll go ahead and go. I have a +3 to hit. I rolled a 16, so that's an AC 19. And then I do a D10.
Is this against one of the ones that Trefco's fighting?
Sure. And I rolled a 5, and then with my magic Ransuer, assuming that they are not Thoth worshippers, I do 6 points of damage total.
Okay, you end one of them with Manweeper.
All right.
Anyone else?
Yep. Mort is going to jump in and stab an undamaged one. So he rolls a 19. He has a +10 modifier on that, so that's pretty sweet. I think that's a hit. He gets 2d6 plus 5 damage. Oh my god, yes. He rolled an 11, so that's 16 points of damage to a zombie.
Okay, you end one.
Okay. And Sam will take a swing at one of the ones that Trefco injured.
Okay.
That will hit. That is a 14. And what's she rolling? 1d8 plus 4. Advantage. Okay, that is 12 points of damage.
Okay, you finish the other one.
So that leaves one standing. Is Liz going to take one?
Yeah, that's the one that's Wolford is engaged with.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else to attack?
Just
Lisbeth. What does she have? Yeah, she's not carrying stuff to hurt him, but yeah, she's just going to take out the Yakin's bones to protect us all.
Okay,
she'll hold the buff.
Okay, cool. Bottom of the round, they get to attack. There's only one left, and it's against Wolford. Wolford, what's your AC?
18.
Misses with a languid strike at your face. Make sure you quickly dodge it to the side. Next round, they always lose, so it's your turn again.
Wolford?
Well, he's got it right in his face, so...
Yeah.
Okay, that is going to hit. That's a 12 to hit.
Okay.
2, and so with that big iron spear and the belt of giant strength, he's rolling 2d10 plus 2. Okay, that is 15 points of damage as he drives the spike through the thing.
Yep, and kills it. So that's the end of them.
Sweet.
You don't see any more movement coming from the bodies. I did make clear to Ted while we were on break that it does not look like the bodies of the women and children were assaulted in any way by the zombies themselves. To be clear.
Right. As if there'd been a terrible battle in here. Everyone had died, and then some zombies had risen up. Is that what it looks like to us?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can we see anything different about the zombified dead versus the non-zombified dead? Do they have different kinds of wounds on them?
No, not
mushrooms going out of
particularly,
them or something weird?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So there's a in this drawing on here, we've got something marked on the north wall of the harem, a little red.
That's an arrow slit.
Arrow
like
slit.
like a peephole, sort of. Yeah.
Peephole. Yeah. Okay, fine. I think we should move east into the training hall.
Do you want to peep in there, Mort, with your goblin eyes?
Oh yeah, why the hell not? I'll look in the arrow slit or whatever, peephole, whatever it is.
Okay, similar to the one that Breggy was trying to look in back in the Great Hall. It's a little bit tough because the field of vision is very narrow. But you're definitely looking in some sort of chamber. You can't tell what the dimensions are, but it's very sumptuously decorated. Whole bunches of furs and cushions have been piled up all around. There's appears to be 3 beds, each with a wooden chest at the foot of them. A small table with 3 chairs, a barrel, and it's fairly obvious just based upon like the crap that's in the room that this probably housed some sort of like casters, like magic users or clerics of some sort in here. But there's no blood in here, but there is also no bodies. There's no one in the room.
Okay. All right. We should move into the training hall. Weapons out.
Should we
shields up?
Listen at the door, or just?
So the door here is also open.
Yeah, I think we should just go through it. And,
all right. Moving carefully to the east, peering down. At this point, you will need your light.
Oh, well, we can grab some torches from the harem then, or lamps, or whatever they've got.
Okay. Who's holding the torch?
Trefko's got 4 of them.
I have a 2-handed weapon.
Yeah, let Trefko hold one because everybody else's hands are full.
Trefko's torch.
Is that okay?
Okay. So he's got a torch held very high, and you stump towards the east. Here you're seeing blood streaks as well, and the corridor that leads into the training hall is littered with the forms of armed and armored beastmen, all dead. Carefully, as you kind of move towards the east and kind of pick your way over the bodies, you're worried about them sort of rising up, but none of them do. And you make your way into the training hall itself with the pillars and all the armor and all that kind of stuff. Bodies everywhere here as well. Beastmen, just wholly slaughtered. Bad news.
Does it look like if you're on a battlefield, right, and there's been 2 large forces fighting, you'll see kind of bodies laying all which way, right? But if you see a large group of bodies sort of radiating around a center, you would imply that it fought one thing. Is there anything we can glean from the position or density of bodies to suggest the number of foes?
It looks like there was a well-ordered force, which lines up with the Beastmen, that they presented themselves defensively, or at least in a phalanx of some sort to kind of press the offensive or something, and that something just moved through them and scattered them like dandelion seeds to either side.
Like one thing, or a very tight
or a massive force of something basically was moving from the west towards the east and just destroyed them.
And are we looking at like claw wounds, or do we see like arrows sticking out of them, or sword splits in their shields?
No, you see most of it appears to be like rough, jagged cuts and rending right through the armor, in skin, bone, all that kind of stuff. Deep wounds. There's also signs though that there was some sort of elemental damage as well. Like you see, like there's scorch marks on some of them. Some of their faces look like they've been burned away or melted. All sorts of nasty things.
Okay.
This feels like it could be Neferet. I could be completely wrong, but this feels more like hoppers or something like that to me. right?
I mean, where would they have come from? Out of the nowhere.
Also, there's lots of blood everywhere with all these deaths. Are there any footprints, John? I mean, you said there's obviously like a path kind of going towards the east, but do we see footprints in the blood?
Yeah, there's lots of footprints actually. They appear to be like normal size, like but going in both directions.
You don't see any webbed feet or bare clawed feet, or
no, they're all booted basically. Yeah, most of them smeared in blood. You know what I mean? It's kind of tough to tell, but you can pick up that. Yeah.
I wonder if Setites attacked. That's what I'm starting to think now too. So many options.
It doesn't feel to me like. Well, let me back up and say, from the goblins' reaction, I gather this happened fairly recently, right?
Yeah.
If it had been a mundane force of armed Setites, I would expect to see dead Setites, that they have not yet had time to police their own dead. The Beastmen would definitely have taken out a Setite. This feels like something supernatural and horribly, horribly powerful.
It looks like very, to speak to your point, Ted, it looks very one-sided. And you know how regimented and professional the Beastmen are in war. But this looks like they were facing a foe or foes that were way beyond their ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevko, did you do this?
Yeah.
All right. If we enter the training hall fully, we can see there's 3 passages to the south, a door to the east, and a corridor to the north. The door to the east is where we met the Varumani, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. And then there's staircase up, and there's a corridor into the LRCP. Those guys are hard as nails. I think we should go that way.
Okay.
To the south?
To the south, just to see if, there's that cage in the fungal caverns. That might tell us something. Is it blown in, right? Did something come in from the fungal caverns? Did something escape through the fungal caverns, That cage might tell us something. Plus, we'll pass through the LRCP barracks and their treasure room.
So most of the blood in the footprints head towards the northern corridor on the eastern side of the training hall. But there is a I wouldn't call it a blood trail, but there are spots of blood that got like much more subtle. But when you're kind of contemplating going south towards the LRCP chambers, there is a few spots that are heading in that direction.
What do you guys think? LRCP?
Yeah. Either that or we go find where Mother used to be. Like if anyone was able to resist like a supernatural force, it would probably be her, right?
Maybe. And John, we don't hear anything, right? If we, it's quiet in here. We didn't fight anything in the training hall. Did we hear anything?
No. Well, if we'll say you take a turn. Actually, you would take a turn to get in here actually as well. So we'll say you take a turn.
Yeah.
And you're really quiet and you listen really carefully. Off to the north, somewhere off there, you can just slightly hear a male cough, like just like a.
No. Let's go check that out. Might be a survivor.
Yeah.
So you're skipping the LRCP room?
Way.
How about this? Can I just open the door to the LRC treasure room and we'll just see like if there's any dead or living or anything in there? Just
yeah, let's do that.
Okay, yeah. So you open the door very carefully. I understand, and you can see that the room is dark. It's not lit. So Trefko shines over your shoulder.
Yep.
You can see that definitely someone moved through here very, very quickly. And it doesn't look like chaos, but it does look like someone rifled through here and grabbed certain supplies very, very quickly, as much as they could, while moving fast. You know what I mean? So like
moving fast south.
There was like a whole bunch of boxes of foodstuffs, some casks of wine, dungeoneering equipment like ropes and pythons and hooks and stuff like that. And like a lot of those things were taken. There's still like a good smattering of them still around, but it gives you definitely the impression that someone moved through here quickly and grabbed whatever they could quickly.
Did they take the ion stone that we saw lying around last time we went through here?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
well, it's gone anyways. Put it that way.
Or boy. I was hoping for a free ion stone. Okay. North it is.
Let's go see if we can help the moaner.
Yeah.
Okay, going carefully north, you head into what was known as like the common room that they sort of avoided because they didn't really like the scheme, and there was actually a teleportation circle there, right? Hold on a second. Let me just locate myself in the book here. So here, like the blood leading into the common room was very, very thick on the ground. The common room itself looks to be where a whole. This is probably like the greatest concentration of beastmen corpses that you've seen so far are concentrated. Like there was definitely like a large stand was made here, and most of the bodies are piled up in front of the now open doors, the double doors that lead into Dano's chamber. Okay, there's like a whole mound of them, like a whole bunch, like probably about 10 of them of all different conturbs and head types are all mounted here as well. The door to the north is also open, which led into like where the old guys were. But there's like blood everywhere here. And you have to kind of pick your way over the body to move into Dano's chamber, which is where you're hearing that coughing coming from.
Okay. When
you enter Dano's chamber, it is a scene of absolute chaos here. The whole place has been thoroughly scorched with some sort of mighty fire of some sort. Like the whole place is completely blackened. It looks like it was a combination of the heat and the force of the fire itself caused everything here to basically be burned to a crisp. So all of the slaves are completely blackened husks. All the tapestries in the bed blackened. All of the tripods overturned, spilled out everywhere. The armoire are spilled out onto the ground. So like the contents of the armoire are actually spilled out onto the ground. Just so you're aware, there appears to be some interesting stuff there. However, up against one of the bedposts, the charred bedposts, is a beastman figure that is slowly coughing. And to your horror and dismay, you see that it is none other than Count Scleros. And it looks like he is delirious. He is bleeding from numerous wounds, and you can see that all of those wounds are suppurating and visibly kind of infecting. Like you can see like gross pus sort of kind of growing out of them. And it looks like he is not long to live at all. He sees you, and his eyes sort of brighten a little bit, and he coughs. Blood spills out. And he feebly raises one arm, and he points towards vaguely in the northeastern direction.
Like towards the Veterans Affairs room?
In that general direction, yeah.
I mean, is he pointing at something in this room? Like, I quickly look around and...
Not that you can
is
see.
Is there something hiding in the corner?
And he points there.
Does this look like mummy rot, John?
It does, yeah.
What? Count Scleros, can you speak? What happened? Where is mother?
Blood just...
Slap a heel on that. Oh, actually, won't help, right?
I don't have one, and I don't think it'll help.
You can't be magically healed. Can we try to patch his wounds, John, non-magically? Can we just try and see if we can just like give him a couple rounds?
If he's got mummy rot, we could cut off his head, man.
He can't speak, yeah. Did you see what happened? It went that way?
He just gestures towards the northeast.
All right. Can you nod? Did mother survive?
He coughs and he's like,
okay.
He nods.
Did she go that way? Is that what you're pointing at?
And he shakes his head and he kind of shrugs a little bit.
She got away. You don't know where she is.
Yeah.
Okay. So the enemy went northeast. Okay. Oh, you know what? If it's Neferet, she went looking for what's his bucket that lived up there, his tomb probably, huh?
That would make sense. Yeah, she went up through that room.
Okay.
Do we want to try to find Mother and get her to safety? That's kind of weird. Or we could go chase down Nefrit and let Nefrit kill us.
I think that we don't like Mother very much. She was a necessary ally. I liked the Beastmen quite a bit. I would like to find living Beastmen and help them more than I would like to help Mother. But I don't want to die at the hands of Nefret. That's for sure.
You see that Scleros's eyes, which were, dulled a little bit. You see like you almost what's the word? You think that you're seeing something, but then you realize that you're not. You see that they shift like a nictitating membrane sort of thing, quickly yellow, like a pale rancid yellow, and then shift again back to like his normal thing. But it was like you were mistaken.
Okay, Scleros, I think you've been infected. Do you understand that?
He nods.
I'm going to give you a clean death.
Yeah,
Do you accept it?
He points to he vaguely gestures to a dagger at his side.
I'll reach over and take his dagger. Is it special in some way?
It's nice looking.
All right. I'll do like this. Is that what he wants?
Yeah, he kind of puts his hands on his chest and he sort of pulls his armor to the side.
Okay, I'll finish him.
Okay. Scleros dies the mercy of Mort.
We're racking him up, man.
Darius.
Mike, did you want to role play Scleros's last words?
So you can see that was spilled out of the armoire, where a whole bunch of like very filmy silk garments that you like Dana was wearing before as well, right? And there was some worn adventuring gear, which you have a feeling was probably stored there from her victims.
Sure.
Who probably were changed into those silk garments at a later stage. There is a large silver box which is tumbled out. Is on the like all these other items that I'm about to list are sort of on top of these garments, right? A large silver box. There is it looks to be 19 small packets which contain some sort of powder in them. Like small little paper packets are spilled out there, and then standing out amidst all of those is a vial, a rather large vial, rather ornate looking, that contains what looks to be like a hot red liquid. Like not as dark as blood, you know what I mean? Like more like a bright red liquid.
Like hot sauce?
Sure.
Fireball whiskey?
Taco Bell fire sauce.
That's right.
Yeah. We found our stash of Cholula.
Is the large silver box locked or latched?
It is. There's a very ornate lock that's locking a latch.
But is locked. Okay.
Yeah, a turn has passed since you've been here. It's now
how many slots?
10 a.m.
How many slots is if we just pick up that box? How many slots is it, John?
The box is one slot.
I've got
it's just
3 available slots, so we can.
Yeah, let's just yoink it.
Yeah. Okay, we yoink it. I'll take all 3, and then.
Okay, that's page 211.
Okay. All right. So.
Any of the stuff that you take here is page 211.
Yeah. Okay. The question here now, guys, is do we go northeast or do we go west? And
I just want to check. Are you taking any of the powder packets or are you taking the vial?
Yeah. The vial, the powder, the box. I put it all in my backpack.
That's how she made her magical bullshit,
So
that powder might be the cloud cap mushrooms or something.
The powder is not
she
encumbering.
Told us about the powder.
The vial is 1.
All right. So I still got one slot without dropping speed. All right. So what if we were to go out in the common room, into the veterans room, up to that door that we know to be the border of the Beastman's territory, and listen there and see if we can hear anything. If not, maybe secure that door. Okay. We'll do that. So we'll go back out in the common room, go into the veterans room, see what's there, and then move into that hallway that we entered accidentally that one time.
Okay, so so that door is open to the north. Do you just walk right in
into the veterans room?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't stroll, but yeah, cautiously approaching that door to enter the room with the intent to enter the room.
Okay, cool. You enter that room. It is also filled with blood. There does not appear to be any bodies in here. But the moment you sort of assess that, the door to the north, which was already open slightly, slams the rest of the way open, and 5 Beastmen zombies come pouring in from that corridor to the north into the room.
Okay.
Any spells being cast?
No.
Okay,
Nope.
so you guys automatically win, so go ahead.
All right. We do the Trefco on 2 thing again?
Sure.
All right. He will carefully put down his torch and then rend several zombies. So the first zombie he hits twice with 20s, which means that he does a boatload of damage. Oh, hold on. There we go. Does 3, 6, 8 points of damage to the first zombie. And the second one he hits with a 13.
Was that a rend?
I added the rend.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he rolled 5 on the 2d6 for the fine. 2 hits, yep. And then 3 on the rend. And then the other zombie he hits only once for 6 points.
Okay. It looks like the first one he hit is barely hanging on, but the other one is pretty screwed up as well.
Okay.
Anyone else?
So that's 2 out of the 5. Wolford.
Okay, Wolford will go next. He'll rush up to one of the uninjured ones. That is a 12 to hit.
Okay.
And 2d10. Okay. Ooh, that is good. That's 17 points of damage to that one as the spear just rips it apart. Yep. And he's going to use his cleave, if he can.
Absolutely.
To take another one down.
Yep.
Swing.
Okay, that's going to hit. That's an 18 on the die. And that is 12 points of damage.
You can cleave again as you kill another one.
You see this look on his face that you've never seen before, just like this old man having to.
This is where fighters get awesome.
Okay, that is also hit with an 18. That's not so great. So that's just 5 points of damage on the last one.
Okay. I was hoping you string it all the way along, but you really fuck up the last fresh one. So nicely done.
Reggie?
I rolled a 14 plus 3, 17. I think the Rancer is a pole arm, so it's deadly. So I get a 9 plus 1, 10 points.
Okay. You finished one of the ones on Trefco.
All right. Mort will jump in, and he hits with a 16 for 14 points of damage.
Okay, he kills the other one that Trefco had. So there's only one that has been hurt by Wolford.
Sam
will take it. Okay. That's a hit. 13 on the die. That is a 15 hit. So, okay, that is 7.
That's enough. You kill the last of them.
2, 8, 9.
Sweet.
So you handled them tidily.
So did those come from the hallway?
They did, yeah.
The north hallway. Okay. All right. Stepping over their corpses, Mort wants to go listen at that northern door.
It's been kicked open. It's been kicked open, bro.
What's that?
It was kicked open by the zombies. Right?
Well, there are two doors, the one entering the veterans room and the one on the other side of that.
I assumed it was the far side.
Which one did they open?
They open the one coming into the room that you're in.
Yeah, so I'll go into the hallway and go listen at if it's closed, listen at the farther door.
That door is also slightly ajar.
Okay.
If you want to listen there, I mean, you
I
certainly
will
can.
move silently up to it and then listen at the door.
Yeah, you could spend a turn, turn for the combat as well, turn for the listening. You're now at 10:20 a.m. Just so you know, you hear nothing.
Not how I thought my day was going.
Yeah, you hear nothing beyond the door.
Okay.
And there's darkness beyond.
Should we spike this? Or that's going to be too loud? We don't have a way to hold portal or something, do we, guys?
But dude, if it's if it's Nefret and she's blowing through here like nothing, then what are you spiking the door going to do?
What's that going to do? Does it? I don't remember, John. Does this like regular door? Right? It's just that they alarmed it as part of their border.
That's correct. Yeah. You also notice too that when you're kind of standing there, Morton, looking beyond, you can see that the actually the section of hallway that you're in between the two doors is devoid of blood.
Oh, great!
Devoid of blood. Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's a selling point. All right, I'm gonna.
Are there? I was just curious. Do we see footprints? Because I mean, whatever did this, it was a bloodbath, right? They've got to be soaked in it. Are there footprints, bloody footprints, leading this way?
Yeah, I guess maybe I misspoke. So like the hallway has blood in it, but you assume, and some footprints, but you assume it's from the zombies that you just fought, right? And then beyond that to the north, there doesn't appear to be any footprints or blood or anything like that. Like this appears to be like the farthest reach that at least any beastmen that were bleeding got to.
Right. But if Neferet or whoever is walking barefoot through all this blood, we should be seeing some wrinkled footprints splapping along the floor.
If it was her and if she was walking, yes, that would be the case.
Right.
The one thing that's kind of weird is that the door is open, and you know that this was a door that they really protected because it was
it was alarmed and everything.
Yeah.
I think I should shut it and latch it closed at least. Yeah, so I'm gonna as quietly as I can. No, I don't. I don't want to see what's on the other side of this door. I'm going to close it, turn the key, slide the deadbolt, put it in the barricade, pile rocks in front of it. It may be that we've just trapped ourselves in here with whatever it was. So, All right. That's a hell of a thing. Okay. So then Morton does all that and he'll come back in the veterans room. Is the door to the west open?
It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should we look in there, guys?
Listen. Let's give a listen.
Give a listen.
And then go that way. Yeah.
Give a listen. You don't hear anything. At that point, though, the torch goes out. Trefco's torch.
Well, that's not spooky at all. End of the episode. Room full of blood, zombies, something's on the loose, and our torch goes out. This you're cinematographic here, John. This is like the horror mastery.
We are actually at that time. So
yeah, Wolfhard, just to keep it clean, he'll light a new one and hand it to Trefco.
Okay, cool. So we'll have another torch lit. I'll make a note.
Okay.
I marked it off.
3 turns torch. Okay. Right. All right. So we'll leave it there with your continuing investigation of the aftermath of what appears to be a major force that has decimated the Beastmen. So much for your party.
I think it's not more than decimated. I think it's like octomated or something.
Okay. So we'll leave it there. Lots to ponder. And we will see what happens next time. So thank you everyone for watching. You've been watching 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell I always screw that up. Hit the bell icon to get notifications every time we publish new material on YouTube. As well, if you have the wherewithal, join our Patreon. Lots of cool little fun bennies. Get access to some of our secret patron-only channels in our Discord server, but the Discord server itself is a lot of free to join, and you get lots of cool people there to discuss things at all hours of the day and night. So please do hop on over there for lots of cool discussion with us and lots of other cool people. Thank you, as always, to all of our patrons, our explorers, delvers, and especially our conquerors. Who are who, Matt?
I shall take it, John. Tonight, our conquerors list: Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Shiflett, Familia Morando, Mercury 605, Ruben D. Collar, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Kessenberry, Brad and Aiden, the Logan family, Kabrowskis, Chad Cartier, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, G Tokyo Time, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, James Duig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, the Hex Brawler Twins, Summon Toast, Adam the DM, Scott Earsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dyer Grew, Tom Eric Garrettson, not Matt but not least, and my Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you all so very much for your support.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. We really do appreciate the ongoing support, and everyone have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.